Hey guys, it's been a couple weeks since I've been able to record, so I apologize for it being so long since my last video. I'm having to record in a different spot today. Um, my spouse has been sick, so she's been quarantining in the bedroom, and I don't want to shoot in there because it hasn't been cleaned yet, and she's still been staying in there. So I'm shooting in the living room today. So there's a very real chance you're gonna get to hear the doggos go absolutely ballistic. I've been trying to hold off shooting until I can get back into the bedroom, but it is looking like it's going to take a little bit. So, in the meantime, I'll go ahead and give you guys another video. Just bear with me if there's a lot of barking. All of these videos, in case you haven't noticed, are unedited. Everything is very real, very unscripted, and so you're getting everything, all the real deal, everything straight. So there you have it. You've been forewarned. If you hear excessive barking, they are two wiener dogs, so they have a voice. Anyways, I believe where I left off last time, I had just found out that little sis had told birth mother about stepfather and herself, and then I believe that I had just told birth mother about stepfather and me as well. And I believe we left it off there before we really found out much of anything else, if I remember correctly. So onward and upward. Let's see. Also, I'm roughly at this point, I don't know if when the last time was that I kind of gave my age. At this point, I am roughly 21, 22, roughly, give or take a little bit. I believe 21, 22. I mean, I'm still pretty young, but I believe 21. Let's just stick with that, because I think that's pretty 21, 22. Anyways, somewhere around in there. So yeah, that's about my age at the time of all of this coming out. So it's been, I had been sitting with all this information for quite some time. Not to mention that I don't believe that I had said anything about anyone else except for adoptive father's father, right? So if we remember back, if you've watched the other videos, I used to go to my adoptive father's, for visitation, once him and my birth mother divorced, which would be my little sister's father, okay? I stopped going over there because of a situation with his father, okay? So that would be my adoptive father's father. And then also my adoptive father kind of being a douche canoe about everything. And so I quit going over there. That was the last time, if I'm not mistaken, that I said anything about any sort of, misconduct, sexual problem, anything like that. And obviously, again, if you've been watching the videos, then you know that there's been several times in between there that things have happened. So on top of basically living with a pedophile for however many years, aka stepfather, um, there were other situations in between, be it friends or friends, family of friends, uh, that were very problematic, to say the least. Um, so I had been kind of holding on to all of that, really, for a really long time. I think pretty much up until then. And quite honestly, I don't remember when everything honestly came out. I do remember everything came out about Stepfather then, but with everything else, I think that still took years to come out. Um, but anyways, so yeah, that day out on the deck, um, everything kind of came out. Um, you know, it was always obviously a really hard time. Um, I think you know I think with uh, a lot of situations when it comes to rapes or molestations, anything that has to do with uh, I mean, I would say kids, but it's not just kids. I mean, we as a society like to, again, I think I've went through this, but we as a society really love to blame the victim and not really the perpetrator. And we always like to, well, what did you do to cause this? What did you do? Almost as though, there was a reason that it happened, and that it wasn't that the person that committed these crimes was a terrible person. There was a reason that they felt like they could. And a simple answer is that one, they're sick, and two, they can, because we've created a society in which rarely do they get punished or punished enough for the crimes that they commit. Personally, it just doesn't happen. I mean, how many times have you seen, there's uh, always these stories about people, particularly women, although boys and men do get raped. Um, and that is absolutely a problem. And it would be more of a problem and more noticeable if more men and more boys came forward to talk about it. Unfortunately, I think a lot of men and boys feel like they can't because they're too ashamed, which is why a lot of victims don't come forward to begin with, because, again, we make them feel like somehow they brought it on themselves, or they should have protected themselves, or there's a number of things that we all do as a society to make it okay for the perpetrator to either get away with it or do very little time and continue to do these types of things. I mean, minimal time. Um, that's for another video, I guess, because I could go about that forever. Um, yeah, so we sat out there for quite a while on the back deck that day. I just remember it was a really warm day. And of course, when you're saying these types of things and you're, finally admitting it out loud, really for the first time, out loud, I mean, really, you burn with shame. Your face burns, your body feels disgusting. You feel like a hot shower wouldn't, you could never get boiling water hot enough. You feel disgusting and ashamed and humiliated, and certainly don't, I mean, much like now, it's very hard to talk about these things, and particularly in front of however many people. Even if you don't watch it all the way through, I'm still admitting these things for however many people to watch this and see it, and it's a hugely scary thing. Hugely scary. Um, but also, again, very necessary, I think. Um, again, I wish this would have been something that I could have seen maybe, I don't know. I mean, I saw something on TV that helped me come out, you know. I mean, I came out when I was 13. And something silly and as silly and minute as a talk show really made me feel super empowered because of one young lady on there. I don't even remember her name, but what she did gave me power. So, I mean, if something like that had the impact that it did on me then, and while I realize, things are a little bit different now as far as technology, still, there's still people out there that feel alienated and alone and scared. And, if these types of things, if videos like this, if real people being unscripted, listening to somebody and their story and really being able to connect with that, I mean, it's a pretty small price to pay, I think. Feeling a little bit of uncomfortableness because honestly, I think the world could use a little uncomfortable to get through some things and get over their shit. So, um, anyways, that day, yeah, everything came out. We cried a lot and we talked a lot and we hugged a lot and birth mom, apologized that, she said that she was sorry that all this stuff had happened. And I ended up leaving at some point. I honestly don't remember what time. It all kind of blurred together that day. Because I honestly I don't even remember how long I was there. Um, it was like I remember coming in and like it was like I was having a really good day. Everything felt good. It was a beautiful day out. I was listening to really good music. I come in, just kind of like having a really good day, and then wham, get hit with this, and it was like, fuck, takes the wind out of your sail. And then everything after, it was just everything was different. But I do remember hearing that apparently stepfather came home or tried to come home. I don't know if it was after work or what it was. And birth mother basically told him, like, I guess, gave him some clothing and out the door and told him, like, he's not allowed in the house anymore and he needed to pack his shit and go and all that good stuff. Now, I wasn't there to witness that. So I honestly don't know exactly how it went. And I don't remember if birth mom or little sister had told me exactly how it went. I want to say birth mom told me, but again, that's super, super fuzzy. So, I'm trying to be as factual as I can be and as best to my recollection. A lot of stuff in my past, a lot, uh, is very hit and miss with me. And uh, just kind of side note, the reason for that apparently is that when I talked to my therapist about it, because I can remember all of the awful things with excruciating detail. I can remember smells, feels, sounds. I can remember everything about that. And exceptionally terrible detail. But when it comes to a lot of other things, my mind has just, it's like really foggy. It's almost like a stupor or something. I don't know. It's so bizarre. And when I talked to my therapist about it, she said that it's not. She said there's a lot of times that your brain, does a lot of things to help protect you, and it kind of shuts down and deals with things. And there's a lot of times that your brain will do a lot of, either it shuts down completely, and so you can never really remember anything that actually happened to you, and your brain just kind of shuts that off, and you don't have any recollection at all. Or like me, yay, I get that part, you can remember everything about it, and there are certain things that will trigger you like crazy, and it will bring you all, right back to everything, and it does. um I'm doing better about it, but it does. And you know it's still very, it's just, I know that my brain has done a lot of things to help keep me safe, and I do now. I'm still constantly, probably will forever, I'm doing, constantly doing work to try to not only continually, shift my brain in the way that it is trying to protect me, because I no longer need it to do that, but also to, you know, gently remind myself that, um, it's okay that things, my brain did what it did, and things that I can't remember, you know, it's not it's not something that I could necessarily control. Um, and I just have to get better about making sure that my brain works for me, not against me, because that no longer serves me, right? So, again, it's a little foggy. I'll do my best. Because things really start getting wishy washy. Um, kind of from this point forward. It's like hit and miss things. Okay. Um, so, anyways, I was told that he came home and was basically not let in the house, told that he basically had to go. Uh, I I honestly don't recall a whole lot, like directly after that. So like right after that day, I don't remember a whole lot. What I do remember is that I remember there being, um my little sister going to the police. She filled out a report, and I remember that I don't necessarily want to get into what happened. I don't want to get into what happened with her, because that's not my story to tell. I would like to say though, because this kind of falls in the category of with stepfather. There were things that happened over multiple states, and because they happened over multiple states, I don't know if anybody is aware. I certainly wasn't at the time. Didn't matter what state you lived in, you can only file charges in the state that you lived in for what happened in that state. If you wanted to get him in trouble for the other things in the other states, you would physically have to go to each of those states and file charges in each of those states. And in the areas or whatever that it basically took place in, file those charges there, and then do each one like that. Um, and so stepfather did not get time for a lot of stuff that he did. Okay. Uh, just because um, it wasn't, they couldn't count those other states. So, and I don't know if, I honestly don't know if little sister was given the option to go to the other states and file, and she chose not to. I have no idea. No idea about that. So, that, again, that is not my portion to tell. Um, I'm only telling you even that she's involved in this simply because of what I felt my role was, and then also because of the charges um, being brought. Uh, I really don't want to tell somebody else's story in that regard because I feel like that's not my place. So, um, in any case, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the options were there as far as that. So don't ask because I don't know. I have no idea. Um, that's one thing I never did ask. Because she never brought it up to me, and I just assumed that it was something that she had dealt with, and honestly, that was probably a big miss on my part from not asking. Um, but in any case, uh, yeah. So, um, he got, she brought charges for the state that we lived in at the time. I went and I got the paper or whatever to fill out my written statement. I filled out my written statement. Um, like, you know, they give you like it's like this. They give you, and I write really small, but I still had to like add pages onto it. It was like ridiculous, right? Because I don't remember exactly what happened right after. I don't know when, and I don't know when and who actually filed for divorce. I'm assuming birth mom filed for divorce. I'm fairly certain, but I don't know when. I don't know exactly like the time frame on that. I have no idea, but I know one of them did, assuming birth mom did file for divorce from him, and I don't know what the time frame was, but I do know that it was after she found out everything. Okay. Uh so anyways, we fill out our statements and whatnot, turn those in to the police. I do know that birth mom and little sister did talk with the cops. I never did. They just got me the statement paper to fill out. Um, and then I remember filling it out. I don't remember. I don't remember a whole lot other than I remember them setting a date for court, and then it got postponed, and it got postponed, and it got postponed, and it got postponed, and it was postponed for like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times. It was something stupid. It was so stupid. And during that time, stepfather was in jail. I do know that he got arrested. Now, where they arrested him at, I don't know. I don't know if it was at family or work or where. I don't remember. I do know that he did get arrested. He did get put in jail. He did confess to the cops when they asked him. He confessed it. I do know that. But let's see. I I don't I remember at one point, I was, I remember, I remember him being in jail, and I remember at one point, because birth mom was still like a stay-at-home mom at this time for my little brother. Um, like initially when they had gotten together, she was working, but then when she got pregnant with little brother, she stayed home, or well, basically right around birth time, and then had stayed home. Was gonna go back, I think, after he started school or something, but he was still little. Whatever. Anyways, she wasn't working, and I remember she went and asked for stepfather to be put on the work release program so he could work during the day. So he would be in jail, he would leave for the day, go to work, and then come back to jail at night. And she did that because she said, I still have bills to pay, and I'm not working, and he has to basically provide. And they did that. He still got out of jail, which I was very torn about, because on one hand I understood what she was talking about. On the other hand, it pissed me the hell off, to be quite frank, because it just felt like, almost like, I literally have, I've been living with this for years. Little sis has been living with this for years. You find out and you can't go out and get your ass a job. You gotta, you know, ask for this guy to be released out of jail every day so he can go to work and basically live his fucking life so he can come, all he does is basically shower and sleep here at the jail. That's pretty fucked. But again, I was still young. I mean, in my early 20s, and little sis was still a teenager. Um so I mean, I don't know, like, I'm mixed on it still, even to this day. Personally, I wouldn't do that, I don't think, but I'm not in that position. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I'm trying to be, open minded, but at the time, I thought it was bullshit. At the time, I thought it was ridiculous, and I thought it was uh, pathetic. But again, we all have our roles to play, I guess, and we're all in different scenarios. So, yeah. Anyways, so stepfather was out on work release during the day, sleeping in the jail, basically. I can remember distinctly with the girlfriend that I have, or had, well, have at this particular moment in the story. The girlfriend that I have, we were at her sister's house, and her sister's husband worked with uh stepfather. They worked at the same place, anyways, and um I don't know. It was like I said, it was a small town, right? And so there wasn't a whole lot of work options, and um, I had worked there. Um, sorry, I had worked there for a while. I just didn't work there anymore. Um, but anyways, we were there, and I don't remember what happened. I don't remember. Maybe a little brother was at the birthday party, or at a birthday party. I don't remember exactly why, but for some reason, birth mom showed up there, and she came in there, and for some reason stepfather came up in conversation, and we were all standing outside by our vehicles. I think we were all basically about ready to leave, and somehow or another, he came up in conversation, and she had said something. Birth mother had said something to the effect of, apparently, this he apparently had this new girlfriend, or I don't know, something, or there was rumor of, or something like that, and she had told this new girlfriend or whatever, I don't know if she saw them or she yelled at her, like, on the phone or in person or something, but essentially she says, a direct quote, right in front of me, right after all this has been said, all of this just came out, right? And she says, I told her, honey, his dick is good, but it ain't that good. Now, I realize at this time that I'm technically an adult, but I literally just came out with my sister talking to you about all of these awful things that this good dick man has done, and you have the audacity to say that in front of me, as though that's not going to affect me. I don't know about you, but still to this day, it is like, it's like swallowing shit. It is awful to hear that. It's awful. So she said that, and I just turned around, and I couldn't hardly even believe that I'd actually heard that. And I was like, okay, well, I think it's time for us to go. See you later. And that was that. After they finally had postponed his court hearings, like I said, like 4 or 5 times, something stupid, my papaw, my grandfather, who, by the way, was pretty fantastic, I had finally shown up at this court date. Right before the court date, I was informed that they were not going to take my statements into consideration because it had been too long because of statute of limitations. So I'd already hit the statute of limitations to basically to bring charges against him. So he not only got away with all those other states, he also got away with what he did with me. He no longer had to serve time for that. He only had to serve time for what he did in the state that we lived in, and with just little sister. That was it. So he basically got away with next to nothing, right? And they kept postponing everything. So I finally was able to show up for this court date. This was the last time I was going to be able to take off work, because they weren't going to allow me to take off work anymore. So I took off work to show up for the court date, and I get there, and everybody is there. So show up, and it's me, birth mom, sister's boyfriend, his family, my papaw, was there, my grandfather. I can't remember if my grandmother was there, but I'm assuming she was. Uh, yeah, so we're all waiting around, waiting for this to happen. And then they come out and they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, this is postponed again. And, and so my grandfather threw a fit and was basically told him, was like, look, if the next time you guys set a court date, if it doesn't happen, I'll take this to the news channels and we'll get this taken care of real quick. So I did not get to go to the court hearing because I had taken off several times, and they kept postponing the dates, and so I didn't get to go. I didn't get to, do a victim impact or anything like that. Nothing. But essentially, he got sentenced to 4 years. Got 4 years in prison, which basically is, he got out in a year and a half. That's all he had to do was a year and a half, in there. So he's out. He's been out for a long time. And that's all he had to do. A year and a half. And stuck me with lifetime scars. Stuck my sister with lifetime scars. Whoever knows, however many other people. I mean, I don't know. We pay for it every day. He's already done his time, and he's done. So that's why I say slaps on the wrists. Statute of limitations. Okay. Well, in any case, yeah. Year and a half. And, oh, I guess I mean, I'm doing videos to try to help people out there that are still either trying to still cope with the things that have happened to them, or in the process of coping with things that are still happening to them. So, I mean, if you want to know how bad our society is, that's where we're at. But also, too, there are a lot of people out there, a lot of people like me, a lot of people that are probably even better, that send in all kinds of love to you. And, all those super close chances that you get, that you're wondering if the world is better off if you're not in it, or if life would be easier without you there, or the answer is going to always be no. Life is always better with you in it. Life is always easier with you here. So remember that. I realize that I didn't cover a whole lot in this video, but with that kind of in our midst of getting stepfather in jail at this point, basically, we'll go from there on. We'll pick it up after that, so that way we can kind of get more into adulthood and whatnot. So anyways, sorry again it took so long, guys. Sorry this is a little bit more awkward. I'm not really digging this whole super close up, but yay, the dogs didn't interrupt. Have a good one, guys. Be good to each other. Till next time.